Entrepreneurial leadership is all about looking for opportunities, keeping your eyes and ears and all your other senses aware of what is going on around you, what is coming up in the world, and being able to seek out those opportunities. It isn't always about just saying yes, but it is about being open to the new world and what is there for you to take. So entrepreneurial leadership is about creating an environment where people feel comfortable with looking outwards and looking for new things to get involved in. I think there are a number of ways that the University of Lincoln is enterprising and innovative. The first and probably most significant thing is that we have a mindset that means that we are constantly looking for new things to get involved in. We are still a bit of a startup, and we can see how the changes that are going on around us can benefit the university. So we always, every year, are looking for what else is out there. So that kind of look for innovation across the piece, because you don't always know what's coming up, and it is important to keep your eyes and ears open to things. So that is run throughout. It's a thread that works for our whole university. The second thing I'd say is that people like to try out new things and are always looking to create new kinds of improvements in their daily job. So it's not just about trying to do something that's the new fashionable thing. It's also about, how do I get better? How do I make things more exciting, or perhaps even not even exciting, but just a little bit more better for the people I'm trying to serve. So there's a sense of continuous improvement here. And the third thing I'd say in terms of the university being entrepreneurial is that we work in partnership with colleagues who can teach us things about their sector, their way of doing things, that we then bring back ideas into the organisation. So sometimes we take innovations from another sector and bring it into our sector, which is a university. So that creates a different kind of innovation, but it's a really important one, because we don't know everything, we can't do everything. So looking outwards and working with partners is really key to us as an organisation. I think it's important for a university to be entrepreneurial in this day and age, because things are changing so rapidly in our world. I also think that the nature of a 21st century university has to be about constantly looking for the changes that are happening around you. If you aren't doing that, especially in an environment where we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution, for example, where the whole world of work will be transformed from what people have been used to previously. If an institution is not entrepreneurial, it won't be changing what it's teaching its students, it won't be responding itself to that changed environment, it won't be making the changes that keep that institution being successful. So entrepreneurialism lies at the heart of what a successful 21st century organisation is. Being an entrepreneurial university has huge benefits for our student population. The first thing I'd say is it gives them a sense of an organisation that is a self-starter organisation. And increasingly in the world of work, what employers are looking for is individuals who are self-starters. So to have come to a university that does that, it's in its DNA, is really helpful for our graduates, because when they leave the organisation, they're used to that kind of an approach and they are self-starters. For the staff, it's quite an exciting organisation to work for, because you are never in a position where things just remain the same. You can constantly see how the organisation is changing, moving, adapting to the world around it, and developing a narrative for itself which sees the organisation moving onwards and upwards. And that's a great place for anyone to work. The UK is a great place to live and to work. However, it doesn't have the kind of environment which allows for people to fail, to learn from their failures, and then to move on. Other countries are better at that than we are in the UK. And I think that's one of the biggest barriers, because we all make mistakes, and it is important, if you are going to be entrepreneurial, that not every idea will work. So you do need an environment where people will feel it's okay to have a failure, as long as you learn from it, so that you can move on. And while any entrepreneurial organisation will almost encourage a degree of failure and recognise that sometimes ideas can't work, it is actually quite difficult. If you simply take the idea of bankruptcy in this country, being bankrupt has such a stigma attached to it, but sometimes it's actually a space where people have tried something out and they quite possibly have learnt a lot from it, but because of the stigma, they find it quite difficult to get involved and start again. I think entrepreneurial activity does require an environment where creativity and a kind of a have-a-go culture is encouraged. It's really important that that happens in schools, in teaching in universities, in the environment in which you might be located, a team or a group in a work environment, and also in our social and cultural life. We need to encourage people to put their hand up and to have a go at things. And one of the best places where you can see that happen is in the arts. The arts encourage people to try things out that they might never have tried before, and to think of things in a lateral way rather than in a linear way. And those are really important skills that mean you can be more entrepreneurial. So I would want to say that the arts and creativity, they can happen in any discipline. That whole notion of creativity is not just resigned in the arts, but the arts are particularly places where they encourage young people to explore. I also think some level of recognition of people playing at things, exploring ideas that aren't necessarily what's in the job description, is quite a useful kind of core element that you need to see to facilitate entrepreneurial activity. So creativity and play, for me, are the most important elements.